Hi, I'm Dennis Weiss for Eagle Communications. Welcome to our town. We have a great segment planned for today with the new director for the youth program. You probably have an official title.
Director of Education.
Yeah. Director of Education, Mark Robinson, who hails from
New York State.
New York State, upstate New York.
Upstate New York, Dairyland.
Pretty close to my heart there. I spent a number of years up there on my uncle's farm and went to college in upstate New York. Beautiful place.
It is.
A beautiful place. Why did you come to Kansas?
Well, because there was an opportunity to do what I like to do, and that's work with youth in creating theater, creating outlets for creativity, and Great Plains, liked my resume and they wanted me, and I was glad to come.
Very good. So you've had a chance to run some auditions with the kids here?
Yeah, we had 3 days of auditions for Godspell, which will be coming up in the end of the first week of May.
Okay, so here's one of only two questions I'm going to ask you today.
Okay.
How do you like our kids?
It's interesting because I have been all over the place doing youth programming, and I have never had things come together quite so quickly as they have here in just meeting these kids and finding out how enthusiastic they are about theater and just the chance to come together and create. They are so energetic and industrious. They want to help in every way that they can. It's just a terrific bunch of kids.
Great, great. We would expect that of them. And as a parent and as a community member, I wanted to hear your answer to that so I could say to our viewing audience, what a treasure we have in our community, but what an opportunity that Great Plains Theater, through your work, has for our community for the next 30 years. You're impacting kids from what age to what age?
Well, starting this summer, we're going to have programming for as young as 4 years old up through 18 years old, and hopefully that carries on into maybe even some adult education opportunities down the road. So the opportunities are boundless, so we can do a lot of things. And
tell us a little bit about what you've done with kids, and then we'll talk about ours.
Well, I have been for over 20 years working in youth arts education, predominantly theater. My background and degree is in theater, so that's always been my area of interest. And I have done everything from directing high school plays for a school in Nebraska for 9 years to working for the Bethelwood Center for the Arts in the Catskill regions of New York, developing and implementing youth programs in theater, music, and visual arts. Done everything from, again, productions for 4, 5, and 6-year-olds up through adults. And also, I've gone out and to the community trying to create a community around our youth theater programming and trying to get everybody on board to see what the benefits are to their community for having a strong youth arts program.
What changes are made in young people that walk in your door for the first time versus what they walk out as an 18-year-old?
That's a great question. And the nice thing about theater is it's so individualized that from kid to kid you see different things happen. One kid who is very interested in the arts, they take that interest and they run with it, and they build themselves up with confidence, they build themselves up with the actual tools to be able to be a great performer. But you also have a kid who might be shy, who is interested in coming in and just, I'll work behind the scenes, but you see a little spark in them and you say, you want to come out and try a scene here? Maybe, and in 2 or 3 years, I can see a kid who used to be so shy, all of a sudden just so willing to get out in front of people because they enjoy the process and they enjoy the interaction. And they especially, I think, enjoy the community that is created around a production. Whenever you do a show, you become a tight family, and I think kids really like that and gravitate towards that. And in a community of this size, it's so great that they have this opportunity to come together and do this.
We talk about community a lot around here on Eagle Communications. Our tagline's Eagle Communications, our community connected. We connect people with broadband, but frankly, through efforts like this, we connect people in ways like you and ways like Elizabeth speaks to as an executive director. we were at the high school talent contest the other night, and they were needing to fill a little time, so they asked if there were any jokes from the audience. And one of the young men, he was obviously prodded by some friends in the back, got up and told the silly joke, and everybody cheered, and he went back. Here was the thought I had right at that moment. I thought to myself, I remember when he showed up to the first session of Playing Great Players and the youth program, didn't speak to anybody, and I remember seeing him first on stage, and I've seen in just a couple of years, man, that kid can perform. He is great on stage. He's a different person than he was when he walked in. I think that's just called opportunity, maybe a little guidance, maybe a lot of encouragement, but opportunity comes first. You can't do anything without opportunity.
And I think that there's a tremendous amount of opportunity here. You know, when we have a production of Godspell, typically requires about 12 kids or actors to be in it. And these kids were all so good, I just said, I don't want to turn anyone away on this. I want to keep this enthusiasm going. So I found ways to grow the production so that we can get as, you know, so we have a cast of 22, which is, you know, which is great. And there wasn't a kid who came to the audition who I would have said, oh, just go away. I wouldn't do that anyway. But in this case, I felt I wanted to use every bit of that energy and enthusiasm that was there.
You being my victim of first opportunity here at Eagle Communications in the seat, I kind of promised you I wouldn't ask you any hard questions. This is kind of a hard one.
You can ask hard questions,
all right.
It's all right.
So, is this theater gig for you all about the performance, or is it about the kid?
It is about the kid gaining a respect and appreciation for the process and finding out what the process does for them. I think that in all of it, it's all interconnected. I don't think you can say one or the other, but I think a kid walks away knowing whether they had a bad production, a good production, or a great production. And if they have a great production, it reflects back on how they see their next opportunity in that theater. And if we're giving them the great opportunity and the great performance, the circle starts again and it builds.
Great answer. I like that one. By giving opportunity to that child and some training along the way, that's how you end up with great performances. God-given talent plus a little direction, and you have a great performance. A lot of work in that process in between. You're not in charge of God-given talent, you're in charge of the process and opportunity. You've heard your executive director speak in a filming just before this one a lot about raising money. She spoke to the fact that when she goes out, she talks about live theater, she talks about the youth program, talks about the cinema, and talks about how that all forms a three-legged stool for community. You also heard her say that she describes each of those things to the members she presents to the people listening to her. But then she speaks from her heart and says, but she came here because of the youth program and what it does for young people. Do you have a particular message as you are being the leader of that program that you're sending out into the marketplace with this video and this program, as well as when you see people, or when you send Elizabeth out with news about what's happening in the youth program? What's your message about what young people can do for the community, drawing upon your experiences over the nation?
What I think happens here is that as our core group of kids becomes more enthusiastic, they become our messengers in the community, and they draw other kids in. We help cultivate the future of this organization by bringing more kids in, more involvement. And they're our best ambassadors, these kids who are experiencing the programs, enjoying them, coming back, and feeling that they've learned something. When they go out, they build the future of the organization. But what they also do is they create something special here in Abilene that not every community has. And this theater is something that is incredibly special and unique for a community, first of this size, and second of all, most communities just don't have this. This is, you know, so it is exciting that Abilene has this and can keep it going, and that's what we need to do. We need to keep it going. We need to find ways, especially for these youth, because studies have been done that have actually shown that one of the ways people choose their community, where they want to live, where they want to set down their roots, has to do with the opportunities in that community. And a strong arts community is one of the things that is considered desirable when people are trying to find their home. And I think, Abilene's a great place, and because of this, theater adds that extra bonus of, we can offer this, and it makes our community stronger to have it.
Something that makes you unique is only a benefit as long as you still have it.
Yes.
And it seems sort of self-serving. My duck is quacking in my pocket. So I've killed the duck now. But when it comes to things like Eisenhower Presidential Library and Museum and Great Plains Theater, we're all humans. It's awfully easy to take things for granted. It's always been here, therefore it will always be here. I've had Carl Weisenbach in that chair, and we usually film at his office, and it's a great privilege for us to be there. But I think all of those people understand that that facility exists on the will of the people. And frankly, our support of organizations here in town, whether it's the Eisenhower Presidential Library, Great Plains Theater, or the Corner Hardware Store, exists at the will of the people. So,
well, I'm sorry.
No, excuse me. As you sit here and present this vision, you're simply giving people an opportunity to understand what it is you're about to do with their children and our community's kids, and give them a choice.
Yeah. Well, and when Elizabeth spoke earlier about the need for money, well, yes, we do need money. I mean, for this place to keep going, we need money. We need to build this new building because, from what Elizabeth tells me, historically, is that place became a magnet for the kids. It became a place for them to go, a place for them to feel connected, a place for them to create. But the other thing besides money that we need are people's industry. We need people to, if you have a talent that you can bring to us, you can sew, you can build a piece of scenery for us for a youth production, you can help us paint on on this day, or you can just get out there and man a table at an event to hand out our collateral, or volunteer there, in some way to help out. Some people don't always have deep pockets, but they have deep hearts, and their deep hearts go a long way in keeping an organization like this going. And so volunteer and help, or I might have something around my house that will help you, or whatever those things are, that adds up to creating what needs to happen here.
That's a terrific point, Mark. And I think back about my prior conversations on camera, and I don't know that we've ever separated that. I think when we speak about volunteerism, most people think about, okay, I can go hand out programs at a main stage play, or I can do this, that, or the other. And we've talked a little bit about building sets, but I don't know that we've ever talked about, if you want to help these kids, there's a whole list of things within the youth program that can be done to help kids. And you're looking for those people aggressively.
We are. And then, and you think about too, like I talk about the money, a $500,000 check is awfully nice, but also a $10, $15, $20 check. Yeah. A bunch of those add up and pay for the paper for the programs, or pay for, I need to get folders to put the programs in, or the scripts in when we hand them out. There's all those little incidental things. So if there's, people can, somebody buys a big thing of toilet paper and a couple of rolls, can come our way. That's a couple things we don't have to buy.
That's so good to say those things out loud, because people can identify with that. They can walk in and buy a scholarship for a kid to come to summer camp who might not have the money and won't approach you. So if we tell people that scholarships are available, I know there's always a few available. People donate money just for that purpose. But let's say it again today. If what you can do is put a kid through summer camp at Great Plains Theater, just drop into the office and say, I want to do that.
Yeah, and it goes a long way, because, this theater should be, and these programs should be available to every kid in this community. And eventually I'd like to see that be the case, is that we can provide for anybody who's interested, whether they can afford it or not. We will find a way to get them through these programs, because this community, it has to belong to the whole community.
My son has always been in the summer camps, and my daughter before my son. So I picked him up every day last year, dropped him off. And it was interesting to me to watch the people who were dropping off and picking up. There were people from Clay Center. There was a van from Wichita who came up and stayed with relatives while their kids went to summer camp. That means that Great Plains Theater has a reach out into the community for these sorts of things. You know, I think we understand that people get on a bus in Belleville and come see a main stage play. They get on a bus in Topeka and Wichita and come see a main stage play. But I'm here to tell people, I watch with my own eyes, people bring their children from a long ways away to participate in the youth program because they knew it was a positive thing.
Well, let me make a few points. I mean, in my experience of 20-something years, I have seen theater almost always boost the confidence of the person who's participating. It also tends to help build grades. It teaches time management. It teaches teamwork, especially for, not every kid is an athlete and comfortable in those situations, but theater offers a very strong opportunity to have that same experience without, you know, of learning teamwork and how to come together to create something bigger than yourself.
This may be a bridge too far for some people who will hear me say this, but it's not for me, and I believe it wholeheartedly. That building of teamwork, I can also call building of community. And people say, what can we do to help Abilene grow? The one thing that was 100% within their grasp is to make the quality of life for their own children while they grow up here in Abilene better. And make it memorable and give them a chance to build their community while they're still yet young. If you want those people to come back and build this community when they're 20, 30, and 40, why not give them a chance to build the community at 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 through 18 with a program like this? We see this in sports organically. School in a town our size is always the biggest industry. So you see the banners on the wall, you see the pictures, you see the alumni get-togethers, you see those things that happen like that in sports all the time. We've come to take that for granted too. But this is an opportunity for that other huge percentage of kids who are interested in communication skills and play and video and theatrics to come in and build their community that will last a lifetime and make Abilene a forever place in their hearts and hopefully in their lives.
And if the program is strong and doing exactly what it's setting out to do, it creates legacy too, because those people, they will want to come back and have their kids experience the same thing, you know. And oh well, my kid went through, I went through Great Plains Theater youth programs, and I want my kids to have that same opportunity and those same experiences. So it gives people the idea, like, you know, you don't have to run away from your hometown. Your hometown is someplace that you should love and want to stay and always feel that you can come back to and have a quality of life that is on par with anything that you could find in a city, and yet the community aspect is added.
Well, I just had a great idea, and you're going to say yes to this.
Oh, okay.
Yes. No, you're going to want to say yes.
Okay.
I could maybe force you by, you know, putting the electricity through your microphone or something, but you're going to like this one. We need to do class of 2015, playing great players, not picture, but a video. When you put your entire team together some point during the middle of your year, when whatever you think the peak is, we put those kids on the stage and we produce a video, whether it's 3 or 6 minutes, doesn't really matter, something that puts a stake in the sand. We hand it to you for your archives, and you start the legacy of recording on video the class of Great Plains Theater by year. That's a mechanism. We're just stealing that idea from sports, but let's steal it and make something happen.
Sounds like an excellent idea to me.
Want to do that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, you've got a deal. We will do that.
On board for that.
Okay, Mr. Robinson, thanks for driving down from coal upstate New York to warm and sunny Kansas.
Well, can I just say, people of Abilene have been wonderful and very welcoming, so I'm very comfortable here already. So
we're proud
thank
to hear
you to
that.
Abilene for that.
Folks, you see Mr. Robinson's face, you can walk up to him in the grocery store and say, "Hi, Mark, saw you on TV. Thanks for taking the time out of your life to come work with our kids in our community in our town. And for our town and Eagle Communications, I'm Dennis Weiss. This is Mark Robinson, the Director of Education, Great Plains Theater.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
Well, thank you.
Folks, thanks for watching.